Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says the new mineral deal signed with the US is significantly better than previous versions offered to Kyiv.
Trump's national security advisor Mike Waltz, who created the controversial signal chat where military plans were shared, is nominated to be the UN ambassador by Trump.
Tens of thousands of protesters took to the streets in Europe to mark Midday, demanding higher pay and stronger protection of workers' rights. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says the minerals deal signed with the United States is a truly equal agreement. Zelensky says the version of the deal signed on Wednesday is significantly more advantageous to Ukraine than previous versions offered. The Ukrainian leader says the new text was a result of weeks of discussions.
Угода значно змінилась в процесі підготовки. Тепер це дійсно рівноправна угода, яка створює можливість для інвестицій в Україну, доволі вагомих, а окрім того, ще й для суттєвої модернізації виробництв в Україні та, що не менш важливо, модернізації юридичних практик в нашій державі.
Zelensky says the new agreement stipulates that Kyiv is under no obligation of debt for previous U.S. assistance. He added that the deal, yet to be ratified by Ukraine's parliament, is now a true partnership with a foundation for both countries to make money and financially benefit.
В угоді немає боргу і створюється фонд відновлення, який буде інвестувати в Україну і заробляти саме тут. Це робота разом з Америкою і на справедливих умовах.
Residents of the capital Kyiv have had mixed reactions.
Я думаю, що така угода, з одного боку, вона потрібна Україні, бо треба буде відновлюватися після війни. Мабуть, якщо її підписали, то наші фахівці все ж таки якось порівняли плюси і мінуси. Я сподіваюся, що це буде на користь.
Я жахливо ставлюся до того, що наші людські ресурси на війні просто так м'ясо, за те, що наша земля – це просто розмінна монета в цьому світі, за те, що ми не маємо свого захисту, а ми полагаємося на когось.
The deal has been hailed as a remarkable achievement by officials on both sides. The U.S. is expected to gain access to critical Ukrainian minerals, which U.S. President Donald Trump has been eyeing as a form of repayment for aid his country has given to Kyiv.
U.S. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz is stepping down from his position to become the country's next ambassador to the United Nations, as President Donald Trump announced on his social media account. With this, he became the first senior official to be removed from the Trump administration, coinciding with its 100-day mark. Meanwhile, Secretary of State Marco Rubio will also serve as National Security Advisor. Waltz created the controversial signal chat where Yemen strike plans were discussed, accidentally including a journalist. He had previously taken full responsibility for building the message chain, and administration officials described the episode as a mistake. However, the White House had downplayed the resulting security concerns. Waltz's deputy Alex Wong is also expected to depart, according to the sources who spoke to Associated Press on condition of anonymity.
We had a good engagement.
In his first term, Trump cycled through 4 national security advisors, 4 White House chiefs of staff, and 2 secretaries of state.
So we had an initial engagement with the Russians.
A Russian drone strike on the Black Sea port city of Odessa early on Thursday killed at least 2 people and injured 15 others. That is according to Ukrainian emergency services. The attack damaged a number of apartment buildings and private homes, a school, a supermarket, and cars. The Ukrainian Air Force reported that Russia launched 170 exploding drones and decoys into 5 regions of Ukraine. They also said Russian forces launched 5 ballistic missiles. Meanwhile, in Kherson, a Ukrainian drone attack left at least 7 people dead in the Russian-occupied town of Oleshki. At least 20 others were wounded. The latest wave of attacks happened after Washington and Kyiv signed an agreement on Wednesday. Ukraine granted the U.S. access to its rare earth minerals, which could potentially lead to continued military support to Ukraine.
The Baltic Sea remains a key focus of tension amid the war in Ukraine. Belgian and Dutch ships are operating in Estonia as part of a NATO mission to monitor and deter Russia. They are protecting vital undersea communication cables from potential interference.
And we've got the object, so everything on the bottom with our main sensors, it shows up. So we can safely check, is everything in order for especially a pipeline or not a water cable. High percentage we will see some difference in to a cable, especially when it's cut or whatever. And what we do, the main thing is make the invisible visible.
Belgium took command of NATO's regional deterrence operations this year, sending an extra ship near Estonia recently. Suspected sabotage incidents occurred nearby last year, but have reportedly stopped since NATO increased patrols.
Tens of thousands of people participated in rallies and demonstrations to mark Midday across Europe. The holiday, also referred to as Labor Day or International Workers' Day, is celebrated in more than 160 countries globally to mark the struggles and achievements of workers in the labor movement. In France, more than 10,000 people marched in the streets of the capital, Paris. Scuffles broke out with police after black-clad protesters clashed with Socialist Party members. Protests also took place in Marseille and other cities, calling for the stronger protection of workers' rights, higher pay, and greater equality. In Spain, parallel demonstrations were staged in Madrid by traditional workers' unions and that of the far-right Vox party, Solidaridad. Protesters criticized the government over work and pay conditions.
El trabajo en España está mal, muchas horas, poco sueldo, la vida está cada vez más cara y el gobierno no hace nada.
And in Athens, thousands of workers convened to mark the occasion. Several workers and trade unions staged a rally outside the parliament building, waving flags and chanting anti-government slogans.
Και εννοείται ότι είμαστε εδώ για να τιμήσουμε την εργατική πρωτομαγιά που μετά από πάρα πολλούς αγώνες και με πάρα πολύ μεγάλο κόπο κατάφεραν οι εργάτες να κατακτηθεί το 8ωρο, οι συνθήκες εργασίας κτλ.
Protesters in Greece highlighted the importance of workers uniting together to stand against what they called the might of capitalists, imperialism, and corporate greed.
More than 60,000 people in Italy are playing Fanta Papa, an online game where users try to predict the next pope. The creators of the game felt inspired by the success of other fantasy video games, such as fantasy football game Fanta Calcio and song contest game Fanta Sanremo.
Devi scegliere 11 cardinali, quelli che secondo te sono i più papabili, ovviamente. Scegli tra questi 11, scegli un capitano, che ti immagini essere appunto quello in assoluto con più probabilità di essere papa, e poi invece scegli un portiere, che è invece al contrario quello che è il meno papabile di tutti.
Next week, over 100 cardinals will gather in the Sistine Chapel to elect Pope Francis's successor. The process, known as the conclave, is shrouded in mystery, but players have been betting on who they think the next pontiff will be. Players' top choices on the game have been Italian Cardinal Pietro Parolin, closely followed by Matteo Maria Zuppi, Archbishop of Bologna, and thirdly, Filipino Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle.
Poland is boosting defense awareness in schools, responding to the perceived Russian threat. A mandatory course for teenagers includes basic shooting practice using replica weapons. Some schools now offer a full military option where students train in defensive techniques and receive first aid instructions. Military uniforms in these classrooms are becoming normalized, like choosing drama or English options.
No, dobrze mi poszło. Z broni krótkiej jest dużo trudniej strzelać niż z takiej długiej. No, ale jestem zadowolona, już idzie mi coraz lepiej.
Czasami mam takie myśli, że właśnie Rosja albo Białoruś może zaatakować naszą Polskę, ale póki nie dotknęło nas, to tak naprawdę to nie przejmuję się tym jakoś bardzo.
The overall goal is to build population resilience in the event of a conflict.
Austria will not implement its controversial ban on family reunification for migrants until it has been cleared by the courts. That is what Chancellor Christian Stocker told Euronews. With this step, Vienna wants to protect the system from overloading, but critics have objected that the plan was not compatible with European law.
Wir haben Rechtsmeinungen, die uns das ausweisen, dass wir das rechtskonform umsetzen können. Ich weiß, dass es umstritten ist. Ich gehe davon aus, dass es auch gerichtlich überprüft wird. Wir werden die Entscheidung der Gerichte abwarten und uns daran orientieren.
Stocker referred to what he said were painful migration experiences of 2015 and 2022. He claimed Europe needs to learn lessons from these periods and believes illegal migration has to be reduced significantly and deportations carried out consistently.
Was wir wollen, ist, dass wenn jemand bei uns keinen Aufenthaltstitel hat und sich legal in Europa oder in Österreich nicht aufhalten darf, dass er Österreich auch wieder verlässt. Wenn nur 20%, wie wir auch heute gehört haben, von jenen, die eigentlich kein Aufenthaltsrecht haben, wieder die Europäische Union und die jeweiligen Länder verlassen, ist es einfach zu wenig. Das müssten eigentlich 100% sein. Also 100% wird man nicht leicht erreichen, aber das Ziel muss 100% sein.
In recent years, Austria has been confronted with high numbers of people seeking protection, particularly from Syria and Afghanistan. The government in Vienna says the country's systems are currently working at capacity, especially in the education, health, and social sectors.